Hey, Paladins fans, welcome back here to the patch preview. We apologize for the delay in the stream, but hopefully we've got everything worked out now. We're back in the action with Lawman. We will be going straight back into game, and we'll be taking a look at his legendary options now that we've seen his kit. And for those of you who may just be joining us or couldn't see because of the previous stream settings, we will go ahead and kind of recap his abilities too, just to make sure we've covered all bases.
Sure, since it's on screen, we can cover the legendaries really quickly, and then we'll go on those abilities. So the one on the far left, since his ultimate has a pretty specific synergy with being under threshold, this is a damage option, much like other flanks and damages have, where he will do 40% more damage if they're above 65% health. The 40% on first initial glance feels like it's high, but remember, over half the time he's not getting it, right? So if you math that out as 40% of, you'll get 40% of damage 35% of the time, right? It cuts it down to the overall throughput to actually lower than most legendaries.
Right.
But the value for him is getting them under the threshold quickly, so they can kind of get that value and then lose it, but he gets other benefits because of it.
A lot of synergy in that one.
The middle one is called Discovery. This one is actually, you know, a very competitive, team comp-minded legendary. You're giving up mobility, you're giving up damage throughput, but what you gain is something very interesting around the Retribution target. So what happens is, if you are close enough to your Retribution target and you are revealing them, you will also reveal that target to your whole team. Which is probably the most permanent or kind of, you know, lasting reveal we have in the game now. It is specific to a random target he can't always select.
Right.
He has to put himself in harm's way to be close enough to reveal them. But if he does that, he can actually keep eye on specific targets and help his team identify which ones to go after. The last one is called Heroism. This is kind of his just quintessential action hero damage ultimate, or damage legendary. So basically, every time he combat slides, he'll get some attack speed on the end of it, so it allows him kind of empty that clip and react with it. So as long as he is actively sliding through combat, he'll get a lot of throughput.
This is like a hype. That's a hype one, which I think some players may find really valuable because the attack speed's very noticeable after testing it. And he's also got some cool cards. We won't go into depth, but I think some cards that can maybe help him to reduce the cooldown on combat. Headshots or something like that.
Something like that.
So something there. So let's just recap his abilities if you wouldn't mind, so people joining in can kind of see what Lex, excuse me, is all about.
The Hand of Justice. So his main hand, he's got two dual-wielded, high-caliber, heavy-hitting pistols that alternate a little bit slower but pack a mean punch. His right-click, he will go into a sequenced fire that locks onto the nearest target. This will target deploy over some pets. So barrack turret is down, he'll lock on that instead. The damage is much lower, but it's just kind of confirmed damage on high-mobility targets. A little bit harder to, you know, as your target's getting away, right? You want to take them out. His F is a combat slide, so a very quick slide in a direction. He stays in first person. He can shoot while he's doing it. He can look around while he's doing it. And in normal cases, can right-click while he's doing it as well. So it just kind of allows him to be in the combat moving while damaging, which no character can do in the game right now. In the same way. His Q is a retribution target, so he'll randomly select a target enemy team that will be his target, and then he will be able to see that target through walls if he's close enough. So that's kind of very tight proximity, but they kind of get, once he's close enough, they can't get away from him, basically, right? And then he will get bonus credits for every kill in a kill streak that target has, scaling up infinitely as long as they have a kill streak. So he can actually get a really big bounty payoff if he kills his retribution target. And then, so he randomly selects a target. If someone kills him, that's now an enemy has drawn first blood. And then if he doesn't like the target he has, he can press Q every 30 seconds to randomly choose a new one. So it's not always the one he can choose. That'll go through him. And then his ultimate is called the Law. He does a long channel in front of him, building up his weapons, and then he'll release a blast that does 600 damage and applies a small slow to targets. However, if they are below 65% health, which synergizes with the legendary we mentioned earlier, you will instantly execute them and get shields and damage reduction.
Big crit. You just kill these bots, man. Oh, hey, look at this emote.
Oh, man.
So hype here. Look at this, guys. Let's see that emote one more time if we can. That was beautiful. Or if we can't. Doesn't matter. Either way. We also want to test his voice back out, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, Lex actually has something to say about that.
Yeah.
If you do his yes, he'll agree.
Let's see. I want to say yes. Apparently.
Say yes.
You're turned off. You goddamn Stop the remain speechless.
You do his good luck, he'll give you some good luck.
No chance. No chance. Jeez, look.
That's what they have fun.
Not a cop.
Have fun.
I feel like some Idris Elba out here.
What a load of tosh.
I don't know about it.
Getting with the have fun.
I return to the shadows.
What is a
You've never engaged in a kerfuffle
I
before?
didn't engage in a kerfuffle when I was growing up.
Well, Lex has many times before, and he recommends.
Oh, wow.
Killing spree.
Well, I gotta say, if Lex, you want to hang out, do you want to have a kerfuffle with me, Lex?
Time to take charge.
Oh, hey, it's St. Patrick's Day though. Maybe we could hang out, grab you know, something to eat later.
Incoming!
You like? Cool. Okay, that's what I was hoping for. So that's that voice pack. Thanks, Lex. You're already bringing a lot of fun and energy into the realm with that voice pack, and a lot of lightheartedness, but a lot of law and justice here as well. But we also wanted to take a look at, we have the new skin for FNO1, and we want to talk about the voice pack we can. See some of those fun lines as well for that skin.
Jokes in there?
Yeah. We should see him fire too. The VFX, as mentioned earlier.
Ooh. We can see the left. We can at least see the left mouse button too, the flame that way. We can see there is some different kind of effects for this. All right, so we will actually come back to the desk.
I'm thinking like a fog pyramid picture. I mean, it's not orange, right? It's not orange. It's not.
It's not.
Could it be green?
Okay, hey.
It's not really green. It's not green.
But it's St. Patty's Day, Thomas.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't plan this out. See, if you guys see, we had a Valentine's chest near Valentine's, and we had a Christmas chest near Christmas, and it's St. Patrick's Day. We have a Fernando Mecha chest. What
Does he have a recolor?
You guys not care about St. Patrick's Day?
We do care a lot about it, but it's a really cool skin.
So the level of skin coolness definitely can supersede the holiday.
Well, I just want to hold that skin back.
That's right.
It's
Yeah,
ready
that's
to go.
right.
It needs to be out there.
Yeah,
It needs
I
to
hear
be
you.
in the battle.
Fernando values all life.
Fernando's already got that like
Point
Mr.
spawn in 15 seconds.
Spearmint.
He does.
That's right.
He does.
That's right.
He does
That's
have the
right. He's good to
spearmint.
go, dude.
Yeah.
That's
Spearmint
definitely
Fernando exists.
So the weapon, is it lightning? He's a robot.
Oh,
5,
Are we gonna come back and see it?
Okay,
Three,
what if there's a
I
weapon?
was just trying to guess.
Good question.
Is there a
Okay.
class of skin that is like makes your weapon just different? Like Fernando could just shoot like you know.
for that weapon
Stone.
itself, or are you come up with the effects?
Oh no, just like you know, is there going to be a class like past legendary? And it's like you're not even shooting a flamethrower anymore. You have like
you
a
have a
machine
potion
gun.
launcher?
Yeah, you have like a potion launcher machine gun if you want. Just
Why don't you come over to my desk? We
we can talk
we
work
can
this
work
out.
something out.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, you're goddamn right.
Goddamn. We could have a kerfuffle. Talk
We
about
could have a kerfuffle. I'm down.
it. You're down.
I didn't even know what a kerfuffle was until I met Lex.
So
He showed me the way.
How did he show you? What was that? Like,
What's the rating?
yeah, okay, it's PG-13. It's E.
Kerfuffle's just a good time.
It
man.
is.
It's
Is
a
it?
good time. You're
It's just
having
a party?
good time. Yeah.
Lex seems like a pretty straight and narrow guy.
Yes. Yeah. He's a good guy. He's a good
Let's
people.
talk about kerfuffle. Oh, cheers, love. Here we go.
Let's do a joke.
Negative.
Oh, come on.
Wrecked.
Time to take charge.
Operation Fireball.
Another joke, maybe? Another taunt?
Dance with me in this endless
It still has the same Spanish flavor. In fact, you know we're going to Spain in summer for DreamHack Valencia for our esports here for Paladins. It's pretty exciting stuff. It was worth the wait, Thomas. It was worth the wait. Oh my God.
Actually, when the fireball comes back, let's fireball a wall real quick, because it actually...
You are not welcome here.
That wasn't for the skin.
R9
Yo, this is actually amazing. Now, does the charge of the shield be different? Okay, so you got the little blue next to the charge. I'd love to see the immortal as well. I see on the right side the tinges of like the, kind of this suit or like the translucent aspect of the shield, separating the back. Okay.
I was enjoying myself.
Not platinum, we're gonna say amigo.
It's right.
But she does have red hair. Yep, she sure does.
Boy, that all the way came out real quick.
It sure did. I mean,
Pretty big,
can
too.
we see that one more time?
It seemed to be pretty fair, right?
It's
Pretty
about,
fair.
yeah, about 30% bigger. Well, yeah,
That's almost like right
pretty
away.
fair about
It's
that.
like as soon as you hit it, you're already immune.
Roland will be pleased. Asking for that for a long
Get a taunt. Get a taunt in there.
Interesting. This is your joke time.
Surrender. I'll kill you myself.
Okay, that's
That's
a pretty big jump there.
Nobody needs to die today.
Years after Paladin won that.
The jokes or we have the laugh. We have the laugh.
Defeat.
Oh, that's good.
I actually like that.
Is there a couple?
I like that a lot.
Some woohoos, some other. Okay.
Oh.
Incredible.
What about curses?
Curse you.
Okay.
I'm the greatest.
He's a good guy. Yeah, this is cool. Like, I feel like a super.
FN01 Helios Fernando's a good guy.
Well, you know, this like really goes.
That rolls off the tongue.
It does. FN01 Helios Fernando.
I just reminded of like the Twitch constantly streaming Power Rangers over the last little while, which is pretty, it's pretty funny. It's like this goes like all together. I'm getting my childhood, and I'm getting excited about superheroes again. Man, this skin is gonna be great. FN01 Fernando. This is gonna be in the new Helios chest, available in OB46 for Paladins. So make sure you get your hands on that, especially if you haven't gotten Star Slayer Ruckus, which is a legendary skin, Triggerman Buck, and of course Nightbane Cassie. Those are a few other epics in there as well. Drybear, Thomas Holt, thank you so much. We'll see a little bit of you later. Thomas, maybe on a future patch notes, but it's time now to bring out, you know, my favorite time of the show.
Me too.
It's balance with Nick and Evan.
Pretty fair.
Pretty fair. All right, so is it inner pretty hair, or inner pretty fair
I
this
kind of
week?
like pretty fair. That's the name
So
for
the
it.
thing
I got
is-
a hat on, so I can't do the hood thing, so pretty fair.
The thing is, when we switch this,
to be fair, all of these changes are pretty fair.
they are pretty fair. Are
None
you
of
okay
these-
with our knee to crotch placement here?
Yeah,
with
just,
the
I
chairs
trust
turned?
you. This is trust. This is synergy right now.
I just can't kick. I can't kick. I can't react here. Okay, Nick. So we have a lot of things happening for balance.
Yes.
Obviously, Lex is coming to the realm. That's going to shake things up right away. But of course, we've gone through a lot of the champions here. Is there any particular theming, kind of anything we're looking to do here in total with the balance, or are we just kind of addressing some specific issues?
Just addressing outliers, keeping an eye on everyone's stats, where we're seeing people in competitive, where we're not seeing people in competitive, where we see the meta kind of shifting, what little kind of tweaks we can do along the way to help facilitate all that going smoothly.
Awesome. Let's do it, man. Well, let's get into number one, items. The number one item, it is an item. That is Illuminate.
Yes.
Now, Illuminate is probably the most OP item in the game, honestly.
Choose your
Okay,
champion.
sorry. Maybe that's not true. But there were a couple adjustments that were made to both stealth champions, which are only, I think, 2 in the game right now, Skye and Shaolin. And also this item, which is basically meant to counter stealth champions. So Illuminate's now having a modified description from percentage increase to additional range, and
10
that increased
seconds
stealth protection
remaining.
range is increased from 15 to 30 to 45 units instead of a percentage. Talk to me about why that change is even happening.
Yeah, so basically what it was before is you would have that base, right? You would have your very small
Customize your
default
champion.
stealth detection range. And because it was so small,
Prepare
Illuminate
for battle.
scaling based off a percentage wasn't really doing much for you. So instead what we did is just made those just flat linear units. So just the circle is going to get bigger based on those 15 units for each level of the card.
Great. All
Should
right.
feel much more impactful. You'll be able to see people coming a mile away.
Absolutely.
All
Okay.
those pesky skies.
All those pesky skies. If you don't want to deal with her, Illuminate's going to be your answer here. Androxus, let's talk about the God Slayer as well. We've seen a little bit of the new legendary the God Slayer used in competitive. Stolzy and the Boys of Eager have been showing that one off
I'm an
lately.
engineer.
But
That
he's
means
seeing
I
just a
solve
base
problems.
movement speed increase from 365 to 380.
Yep, so it should feel pretty good. I mean, Lex coming in, a lot of the other flankers, he was just at base when he was walking. He was actually one of the slowest in the game,
Well,
so it
hello.
should feel a little bit less sluggish for the God Slayer.
And a lot of times he's spending his time in the air too, so I
Yeah.
can see why that maybe wasn't something that people were calling for, but I think just looking to tune up flankers who are primarily like kind of having a
The
tough time
battle
in
is
this current
about to
meta,
begin.
giving Androxus a little bit of love there on the base movement speed.
It does also help out his other legendaries a little bit because you won't need to rely on mobility from
Quite as much, exactly. All right, so let's talk about the stay-at-home dad here. Nothing against dads. In fact, it's my dad's birthday today. It's St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. So always one that it's hard to forget. But speaking of the dad here at home, it is Barrett. He likes to get set up, and he's been doing a really good job of doing that lately in the back. So we decided to touch a few things here. His blunderbuss, tinkering, and his card, grudge, but we're not really going to go into that. Have seen some adjustments. So his blunderbuss is actually seen an adjustment from the damage reduction to 600 now at base damage reduction for Bears.
An enemy has
now
drawn
from
first
legendary
blood.
tinkering, which if you're familiar with legendary offers that reduce the spread, make it a little bit more.
Where did I go wrong?
That now is going to increase the blunderbuss damage by 100. So essentially, it seems like we're taking it off the base, putting it
This was a legendary. Already by far, I think the least popular, the least picked up and competitive for sure. So what that does, he was doing a lot of damage, doing very well, not only in the top level in the esports world, but he was also doing very well for himself.
Never this cold and killing spree.
So this is a good way to kind of bring him, take a little bit off the top, and all of those cues help him bring him more in line, while at the same time making him a little bit more.
Now, before we get into anything else, that's it for Barrack today. Let's talk about Bomb King. Bomb King is one of our favorite champions. He's seen a bit of an adjustment here. So I want. Let's see which carry is.
This one's for you. Bomb King is getting lag compensation. So this is very hard to play already, especially so on high point. This is a change.
That's why you don't feed him after midnight.
Closely see how it impacts the king. Should make him a little bit more easier to play on high ping scenarios, especially with Remind Hub.
This one's ours now.
Hopefully you're not shooting like potatoes, man. Potato aim. From Idaho, let's get it.
Thanks, Don.
All right, anyways.
St. Patrick's Day.
Also St. Patrick's Day. Yes, dude, I'm just rolling right now. Speaking of rolling, Cassie. Dodge roll.
Okay, so this is
Hold on, let me tell you what it is. Got a whole system, man. Jeez. All right, so dodge roll is reduced from 6 seconds to 5 seconds.
yeah. So what this is gonna do, at least for me when I play Cassie, I like my dodge roll to always be there. Most of you run Cycle 4. Normally you have to pick up Chronos to get those rules to be smooth. The base cooldown of 6. Excitement's going to take it to 2. That's going to leave you in a little bit of a dead spot. So taking this down, you'll be able to smooth out your roll cooldowns, hopefully have it whenever you need it without having to pick up Chronos. This is going to help Cassie, I think, in the early game, because I always go Chronos first on Cassie. Now, this won't be, you don't really have to go after that, unless you're running like a Disengage or a Blast Shot build. Now you'll have space to go to Cauterize and maybe go into Record.
All right, so Cassie getting a little bit of a base reduction there. Very good for her. Drogos is now going to see a few things adjusted to him. He's been at a very high level in Paladins for a long time and still is going to be, I'm sure, after this as well. But seeing a bit of an adjustment down to some of his base skills and his base movement. So Drogos has had his health reduced at base from 2,500 to 2,400, so 100 off of his base health. And they reduced his ult 50%. They've also fixed the combustible legendary with fire spin. And so kind of what I think about these.
Yeah, for the health line, he was already one of the hardest hitting characters. He also had one of the
Got me in there, son.
a little bit more in line. It's been kind of a while. He didn't used to be as fast as he is right now, or quite as dangerous, so that health was a little bit more warranted back then.
Where did I
Also
go
big one for me,
wrong?
because I mean, we see some good Drogos players, those Bugsies.
It's nuts.
Those are bullies. They can
30 seconds
20 to 30 seconds right after
Enemy
they use them. So
double
this,
kill.
He hits so hard already. He's getting massive amounts of gains from his fire spin, from his direct impacts. He can get one of the quickestly charged ultimates in the game, and it is so impactful, especially in this meta right now. So
15 seconds
a little bit
remaining.
more in line with some of the other characters that don't get to crank their ultimates.
Thanks, Don.
Final one there was the fire spin.
7.
That was actually
3, 2, 9, 8,
giving you the masterful
7,
reset. So 4 seconds for the impact.
5, overtime.
One target to get that reset. So now it'll be cool to see that come back into the fray.
That will be exciting. That was a very good legendary. He has some of the better legendaries, I think, that just in terms of fans liking them and playing them as pros. But also, a lot of people don't remember, back in the day, this used to be something that we dealt with Androxus. He would charge his ultimate so fast, he actually reduce his base cost just because of how much damage he could output how quickly. So Drogo's kind of finally receiving that treatment. He's way above the curve there, just bringing him in line. Still going to be able to charge it plenty fast. Now it's time to talk about something else that's getting on fire.
Attack the objective!
It's Fernando.
Attack the siege engine!
Fernando to grab the skin. You saw it in the actual tease that we did when we were showing off the skin. Immortal. A lot of people have been asking for this one for a long time. Reduce your activation time. 3 seconds to 0.1 second before the ult. So that free fire is basically much more reactionary.
That's kind of the name of the game. It's team saver ult. You want to be able to use it exactly at that.
Where did I go wrong?
Attack the siege engine!
King bombs come out, cursed arms come out. You want to make sure that you get it out as fast as possible to save as many
What's
lives.
up?
Now here's another one that I'm actually pretty
Yeah,
excited
you
about.
said.
We may see some teams start to experiment with. Formidable, largely
Yeah.
legendary that was, I mean,
Cards
Fernando's
are
kind of been
ready.
out of this meta and it has been ever since Torvald jumped in because of his ability to counter shields naturally. But the fact that,
no
you know,
worries.
we have this legendary 2 that a lot of people didn't pick up, which is formidable. I like the adjustments coming to this. Basically, kind of tuning this up a little bit. I played with
Point
this.
spawning
I
in
can get my thoughts on it, but I want you to talk to me about it too. Increasing the health threshold
Yes.
from 30% to 40%,
watching
that it
what?
will start to activate the heal for you. And then
Okay.
also increasing the healing value. So
Cards
not
are
only
ready.
will you get the heal sooner
3,
before you're
2,
at death's door, you'll
1.
also get more value out of the shields. Actually keep you alive.
Yeah, you nailed
Aw,
it.
no
So
worries.
basically, a lot of times you would actually be able to burst it down before the heals really start to roll through and impact you. And obviously, we're getting a lot of people feeling impact. So we want to tune it up, see if it was a numbers thing, but be more effective. Kind of helps Fernando come back to where he was, what he is at his best. Just that big, deep shield guy is just going to stand in front of you. And not budge. And he's one of the simpler things. He's easier to play. Mechanics aren't super difficult. He's not a super difficult character to master, so he needs kind of those big stats to kind of warrant that sort of thing.
Absolutely. So that's going to be an exciting one. I'm excited to check that out myself. I know somebody you've been excited about for a long time. I feel like I have a segue
Thanks.
for every single. I'm really good at segues. I'm praising myself today. All right, Brock, someone you're very excited about. He has been doing very well. And voice and chat, Brock. Now, really, he's seeing a little bit of a reduction because he's doing so much damage right now. And just so much damage. And we don't want to take the fun away from Maelstrom, it seems like. We do want to make sure that he's going to support. So the self-damage from the lightning staff, actually, the actual staff damage is 82, and now it will be reduced to 75. Tick.
Yes, just a little slap in the wrist. You gotta be healing. You can't be doing it. So it's not really going to change his Maelstrom Legendary, which is a big part of why he's being picked up right now. And as long as you're still hitting those lightning shots, you're still going to be getting those shock pulses cranked out for him.
Moving on to, this is a big one. This is a big one right here. In Nara. A lot of controversy, I think, around, you know, where she should be. Pros haven't picked her up in this last weekend. But just, you know, notable not be very used. Nara was not played in, you know, most of the ESLs or this weekend, so I felt that she was in need of a little bit of tuning up. Right, we want to make sure that she's brought in. Right now, we're going to see a few adjustments to Nara on 3 separate places. First off, her health is getting increased, so you're seeing her go from 4,400 to 4,500. What a boop up.
Thanks.
Now, her then guard as well, kind of the core part of her kit, where she's able to reduce basic damage. She's getting a cooldown reduction here from 12 seconds on her to 10 seconds.
This is, I think, one of the most important cooldown for sure. With a long cooldown, it makes it more impactful every time you use it. You have to be smarter with a long cooldown. And cards, you're going to be able to get this down a little bit easier. Give you some margin for error. Just get more uptime on it. Period. Like, whether you're using it well or not, you're going to have it up more often. But you won't have to worry. You won't have to, you know, split hairs over when you want to pop that cooldown.
And we know that you guys feel the ultimate was perfect, so we just left it as it is. So let's move on. I'm just kidding. All right, it is going to be a new increase to the actual damage. We knew there was a lot of feedback. Some people were asking for stuns. Some people were asking for damage, kind of an increased duration. what we felt was a
Okay.
good mix of that was to add
Yes.
some damage to the
Point
ultimate,
spawning.
because the stun is
15
extremely
seconds.
impactful, right? Sure. It can change a fight, but
Not
what
a
we wanted to do is
problem.
make sure that when you're playing as Inara, you feel very good, and that ultimate feels like an ultimate, very, very crucial and game-changing, which it was, but I think adding
two,
the damage numbers here from
1.
200 to 500 now, when you base hit somebody on the ult, it's going
Group
to
up.
feel a lot better as an Inara player, and kind
And
of
just
changing
for what
the
that
time.
ult
Cards
is,
are
right?
ready.
You're just like slow-mo, just dunking this huge spear.
You got me in their sight.
Everyone just, especially if they have resiliency. So we played with a couple of ideas, right? Resilience was already being picked up because the stun was the super impactful thing about it.
Right.
The longer the stun is, the better resilience is against it.
Exactly.
More of that down. The damage here just allows the ultimate to do something.
I'm out of here.
700 damage. You're basically able to outplay on a single target, maybe 1,200 damage on them. If they're low in that fight, Inara can kill out one. The rest of the team, if they combo with anything, that could be a very, very powerful setup.
Nice shot.
We'll see if that gets used, but for those asking for the buffs, Inara has been
behind
pushed
us.
up, which I think is going to be great. Hopefully we'll see her over the weekend as well. See some pros experimenting with her
Victory.
and
Good game.
competitive. Now, Kinessa, she just had a card
Well
renamed,
played.
so nothing really changed to her.
Exemplary.
We did it.
Impressive.
The card was
No,
renamed.
no, no.
Actually, tracking is now renamed to Calibrate. So if you played with tracking a lot, you'll notice that it's just called Calibrate. Moving on, Makoa. Yep. This is a change that they are looking at the ultimate. Makoa's been extremely
Try and run.
and has been doing well. He's got great CC. He's got value from his kit in almost every single area. Even when Fernando was popular, Makoa was kind of still the second pick, right? Because he can, you know, underneath where Barrack was, he could still provide that kind of damage and in replacement of that heavy sustain. So he can kind of pay off for it, right? And we felt that now the ultimate just created a bit of a situation where there's just nothing you can do about it, right? There was just no counterplay to it. So looks like Ancient Rage moving into this patch, Makoa still the same ultimate, but it will no longer grant CC immunity.
Yep, so now you have a little bit ways to CC him with whether it be an ultimate like a Dread Serpent, just a raw Maldamba stun, a Grumpy Bomb. It kind of, you know, Ancient Rage was just like, I'm going to pop this and I'm going to kill anyone and there's nothing you can do about it. Especially if I've got
10K
my
health.
cooldowns up. And we've been receiving some feedback that we wanted to be a change, whether it be maybe you get less health, maybe you can't use a shell spin during it. But this one kind of felt the best way to go because it doesn't take too much away from Makoa. He still gets that 10,000 HP. He's still going to hack you down with an anchor. He's still going to be able to use all of his cooldowns. But there is counterplay to it now. It's not just like the be-all, end-all. There's nothing you can do to me now.
And in many ways, it's one of, you know, as we've added more tanks as well, Torvald's ult doesn't have CC immunity, right? We still see that be largely effective because the ult is so effective in itself, but at least there is that moment where Shaolin can impale him into a wall and shut it down. You know, Maldamba can get that stun off. A good Grumpy Bomb and a bad Torvald positioning can, you know, fall victim to activating the Hyper Beam and finding out that it's not
hard
working.
to do. It's still hard to. We rarely see him get shut down, so this is why I'm not super worried for Makoa going anywhere.
Yeah.
Because he's still going to be very dangerous, very lethal, and very hard to bring down.
Absolutely. So still want to run away from the Ancient Raging Turtle if he can. Speaking of animals here, we've got Maldamba and his snake friend, who are going to be
Long Johnson.
Long Johnson, as you like to call him. I don't know where that name came from, man, but you just, you know,
from
you're
South
ready
Park.
with it. Is
Did
it
anyone
really?
get that reference?
I don't know if I got
That's
it.
from South Park.
Okay, all right. That's standard. Okay, my bad. I thought it was just a funny name you made up. Okay, so Maldamba is actually getting something called remote proximity distance increased. So he's going from 1 to 1.5 on his Mending Spirits, and maybe you could walk us through what does that mean? What's RPD, remote proximity distance, and how is that? Is that a buff?
It is a buff.
What is it? What does it do?
So I had Garrett actually explain this to me on stream. Can I borrow your pen, please?
Sure.
Here comes the demonstration. All right, so RPD is basically your margin for error, how big the Mending Spirits is when you want to shoot someone. So right now, you're shooting at them with this pen, right? And it just traces a line from me to you.
Okay.
As I'm the Maldamba. I'm just tracing the line, right? And as you
Okay.
get farther away, you know, that's, you know, you got less margin for error. This pen,
Sure.
it's not as thick. So now RPD, think of it this way. Instead of a pen, it's your big finger. It's your thumb. So that trace, that cylindrical line that you're drawing from yourself to your target is a little bit bigger. You'll be able to hit those long distance Mending Spirits a little bit easier.
So maybe instead of just the pin, it's like a highlighter.